Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Toxicity, and welcome back to the episode of Aussies on the Ball, where we talk about Aussies in the NBA. And it's been a couple weeks. I do this fortnightly. Today is the 3rd of April in Australia, Thursday, the 3rd of April. We have about 2 weeks left before the NBA play-in tournament begins. A lot of teams are starting to rest their players. A lot of teams are starting to kind of play out some of their stars to give them less minutes. And yeah, this is just an interesting time in NBA because we get to see some of the younger guys really get some minutes. Matisse Thybulle in Portland's been getting a lot of minutes. I feel like they're building his trade value up a little bit for the offseason. We have guys like Johnny Furphy getting minutes. There's other Aussies around the league. Can't name them off the top of my head right now, like Jock Landale getting minutes. But the main guys like Dyson Daniels, Josh Giddey are absolutely killing it right now. And one of them, I'm going to say right now on this podcast, wins most improved this season. And it's not Josh Giddey. It's a guy that I've been campaigning for on Twitter for the last few weeks, but we'll get into that shortly. But I hope you guys are doing wonderful today. This is episode 2 of the podcast or the chat show, whatever you want to call this. Hopefully one day will be your favorite podcast when it comes to Aussie basketball players. And hopefully one day we might even do it weekly and we might even have guests on the show. Who knows? I want to ask you guys, who is your all-time favorite NBA Aussie? So any Aussie that's played for the NBA, I feel like at one stage, a lot of the Australians loved Ben Simmons more than anything else. He's another name that I kind of want to talk about in today's episode too. Patty Mills. Patty Mills is up there, an Aussie icon, Aussie legend, Joe Ingles, Matthew Dellavedova. There's Andrew Bogut. There's so many guys that you can name. Or you can be a new kind of watcher, a new Aussie fan, and like someone like a Dyson Daniels, like someone like a Josh Giddey, like someone like a Josh Green on the Charlotte Hornets. I don't know. I don't know why you have a favorite player. I don't know who that favorite player is, but let me know down below. I'd love to know. So, yeah, I've watched a little bit of ball lately. As a Mavs fan, watching AD, Lively, and Gafford play together for the first time today, and knowing that Kyrie is out hurt, cuts deep. Really does. Really, really does. Seeing AD, Lively, and Gafford on the court, that was pretty cool. I do see the vision Nico had, but I still do not agree with the trade. I would never have traded Luka Doncic in a million years. But hey, I've been trying to find other games to watch. The AFL has been back for a couple weeks now, so that's kind of filling that void of not having a team to follow. But my team in the AFL aren't doing too well either, which is rather unfortunate. I'm a Port fan, so being a Port and Dallas fan is rough. Is very, very rough. But yeah, I've been kind of enjoying seeing AD play. He's had a bit of a rough patch with his form recently, but he's definitely coming out of it on top. And we're 9th on the ladder or the table right now, so we are able to host a home play-in, which looks to be right now coming up against Sacramento. So yeah, it's going to be interesting stuff. OKC's definitely cementing themselves at the top spot. No one's ever going to catch them. I don't think the Mavs are going to catch the Clippers, and I don't think some of the teams below Sacramento are going to catch them. So yeah, it's been an interesting couple weeks in the NBA. We had obviously Wemby went out about a couple months ago now with that blood clot. Damian Lillard is also out for the foreseeable future, which really puts a spanner in the works for the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know what they do this offseason. Their team's very expensive. They just made that trade for Kyle Kuzma, and I really don't know what they do. Do they decide to blow it up? Do they decide to maybe make a Dame trade to build around Giannis one more time? Because if Giannis sees a pit coming, which in all honesty, there's no draft capital there to bring in young guys. I don't think any of their stars could get them anything else out on the market. I think that pit is coming, and it's up to Giannis. If he sees that coming quicker than other people, he might want out. And I don't know how long he's actually contracted for, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he is one of the guys at the end of the season that says, hey, what else is out there? Like, we know that Phoenix is now looking to shop around KD. There's a few teams that are in the market. The Spurs, the Rockets, the Mavs are a few destinations that are looking to maybe bring KD in. Would be interesting if OKC try and get him back. But yeah, I'm not too sure about how that goes. Some of our Aussie guys are obviously out of contract at the end of the year. Dyson Daniels, I think, has 1 more year on his smaller scale contract and then is due a payday. Josh Giddey's a free agent at the end of the year. Guys like Matisse Thybulle, Jock Landau, I'm pretty sure are contracted for another year, but could be trade candidates on the market. Duop Reith is also there. And I don't know what happens with guys like Joe Ingles, guys like Patty Mills. Josh Green, does he stay in Charlotte? Does he go? That might be maybe next fortnight's podcast episode. Might look at what's going to happen next season, what some of these players could be earning. We might do some estimates, might do some predictions and see what we can do. But today, the meat of this podcast is going to be chatting about Dyson Daniels, chatting about Matisse Thybulle, and chatting about Josh Giddey and just how they're going lately. And we're going to talk about the most improved race because we might even start there. But then we got 2 names who I think are going to go maybe top 30 in the draft. One of them most likely a lottery pick out of Australia. One of them has been playing really well for Duke lately. And a podcast one of these episodes that we'll do, maybe not next fortnight, the one after, could be all about the draft. We can do everything about the draft, which it's probably going to be around NBA Finals time, so we'll most likely talk about some of the Aussies playing in that sort of area too. So let's talk about the most improved race right now. So I'm thinking that this guy on screen right now is the winner of the most improved race already. Now, Cade Cunningham, I'm looking at sports bet odds right now. And I put a bet on Dyson Daniels after about game 5, I think it was. And Dyson Daniels is paying $33. And now he's paying $1.90. So he is heavily the favorite. And that's because Cade Cunningham has missed 5 games with the calf injury. And there's no timeline for his return at the moment. And now Josh Giddey this year has literally blown his percentages out of the water. This year, as we can see here, he's averaging 33 minutes a game, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 3.1 steals, almost a block a game. And he's been absolutely cooking this year. Look at the stats last year. I know that he had limited time in New Orleans because of some of the players he was playing behind. But to go from 22 minutes and add an 11 minutes per game to your tally and times your points by almost 3, it's just insane numbers, really. I saw a stat today that he is the first guy in over 30 years, I think it is, that has 200 steals for the season and has over 50 blocks. And if they're going to push the agenda for Draymond Green or someone else, Jaren Jackson or Evan Mobley, to be Defensive Player of the Year, that's fine. But Dyson is the most improved. And yes, I love Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham has literally led Detroit out of the dark days and has given them such a bright future. And he is playing really good basketball. But Dyson Daniels, man. Dyson Daniels has just been insane. He's been a perfect number 2 for Trey. He's fit in that team seamlessly. Him and Jalen Johnson were playing awesome together before Jalen's injury. And I feel like Dyson Daniels is going to have a really underrated final series. And I know finals aren't in considerations for the awards, but come on, man. You have to admit, even Dyson Daniels has impressed so many people this year. No one knew this guy was going to average 3.1 steals per game. That's nuts. That's actually insane. That's crazy numbers. And he's hitting his shots from 3. He's 34% from 3, almost 35% from 3. And he's attempting 3 a night. Obviously, with Trey there, he doesn't have to do much of the scoring. But almost 50% from the field. And free throws 60%. I just think he's that guy. He's that guy. He's had a couple of quiet games recently. Against Dallas today, he played pretty well. Against the Portland Trail Blazers, he played okay. But he did have a couple of games recently against Miami, against Philly, and I guess he had a double-double against Golden State, so you can't really play that out. But when he's playing not so great, he's getting 5 steals a night. This game against Miami was only bad one. And yeah, he had only 1 steal against Dallas, but I mean, Dallas were primarily scoring through their bigs, which, I mean, Dyson Daniels can switch on to most players, but he's not going to switch on to AD and make a massive impact. I think Spencer Dinwiddie had a really rough night, and some of the other guards had really rough nights too. And Dallas had no right to win that game. They really didn't. So yeah, I'm just really, really happy for Dyson. He's really found a home here in Atlanta. He's playing really well. Does it say anywhere here about his stats or anything, like his contract? Maybe it will show up here. I'll get rid of this bloody highlights box. I don't know if it will show his contract. Yeah, I don't think it's going to. That's okay. But yeah, I think at the end of this year, I wouldn't be surprised if they sign him early if they can. I don't actually know if they can or not. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if they can, they definitely will sign this guy to an extension in the offseason. I don't think it's going to be, like I say that, but Josh Giddey's been playing so well lately that Chicago might even give him 25 million plus. I wouldn't be surprised if Dyson signs maybe a 3 or 4 year deal for maybe, I don't even know. This is going to be a guess. If he wins most improved and is like a all NBA, I don't think he's going to be all NBA team, but I'm going to say maybe 18 to 22 mil for a 3-year contract. And then after that, maybe he gets a big pay rise. But yeah, I'm just really impressed with Dyson this year. He's been one of the players that I will always tune in and watch. Oh yeah, he's just 3 years into his NBA career, obviously. I wish it actually gave you just that contract value. I guess Fanspo or someone like that might have it. But hey, that's fine. But yeah, Dyson Daniels, most improved. I'm gonna be happy to win that bet and get some money from getting Dyson Daniels, because I need it right now. And I just bought a new car, get a puppy this weekend. Like, things are changing in my life as well. And Dyson will be the absolute light of my life if we can get some money from him. But yeah, I'm gonna say he has a big final series this year. Him and Trae Young together. Maybe they make it out of the first round depending on where they finish. I don't know how high or how low they can finish, but if they make it out of the first round, that would be really fun. Missing Jalen Johnson is huge, but Reese Share is playing pretty well. Clint Capella is, that good center that they can turn to in the playoffs, and they have Okongwu playing really well too. Karis LeVert and Georges Niang are playing really nicely as well behind these guys. So yeah, it's just a good feeling in Atlanta, and I see the vision. There's a rebuild coming out. I think it might have actually come out by the time this video airs. A Dyson Daniels rebuild, so stick around for that. But yeah, now we move on to another guy I want to talk about, and that's Matisse Thybulle. Now, Matisse Thybulle has had a really up and down season this year. They tried to trade him at the deadline, but no one really wanted him. But he's playing some minutes recently. He's playing some good minutes recently. He's playing okay as well. Like, he's not that guy that's going to come in and give you 50 points a game. He's not going to do that. He's going to be giving you steals. He's going to give you some blocks, and he's going to just assist and rebound and do his thing. And I think Matisse Thybulle is a very underrated defender. I feel like just because he's not the most insane scorer out there, that he gets a little bit overlooked. But he's had games in the last couple of weeks where on the 25th of March and the 23rd of March, he had over 10 points. He's had multiple games now where he's had over 2 steals a night. On the 17th of March, he had 5. On the 23rd, in that game, he had 12 points. He had 2 steals as well. And recently against Atlanta on the 1st of April, he had 5 steals, which, is really good for someone like him. He's not going to be that guy that comes in and plays really well, but I feel like him next to Scoot and next to Shaden Sharp and those guys, I feel like he's really underrated because Scoot's not the best defender. Anthony Simons is not the best defender. I don't think Jeremy Grant is as good of a defender as he once was. And those guys, like, he really stands up in that area. Even on the Boomers team and for the team, like the Aussie team, he's in there because of his defense. And I feel like if he wasn't on the contract if he was earning maybe half the contracts, I'm pretty sure he's on like $12 to $13 million a year. If he was on like $5 or $6 million, these sort of numbers would be more appreciated. And I know the CBA and the cap and stuff are going up, so contracts like this aren't that bad, and normally they overpay guys to move them. But if he finds a new home in the offseason on maybe a team like, I'm going to say somewhere like Utah, maybe he joins Josh Green in Charlotte, like he could be a good bench piece for those teams because like in Charlotte especially, Brandon Miller's not the most amazing defender in the world. LaMelo Ball is not the best defender in the world. If you add someone like Cooper Flagg to that team, he's a great defender. And if you add Matisse Thybulle as well, that's just a couple of defensive options you can turn to. I don't know how reliable he is going to be in the playoffs, but I don't know. I feel like Matisse Thybulle is one of those guys that are severely underrated. And you could definitely turn, he's been in the NBA for 6 years. He's been around quite a while. His career stats aren't great because he's not averaging 20 minutes per game, 25 minutes a game, but he definitely could make an impact on a team, even a contending team. I'm going to go out and say that. Even a contending team that potentially has some bad contracts that can pick up some of these Portland guys, I feel like that could be definitely underrated too. And he's playing alongside Dwop Reef right now, and I don't think Dwop Reef is getting too many minutes. I think he had like a couple recently. But Portland have that just insane center lineup right now. There's a lot of money there. Ayton, Robert Williams, and you got Klingon as well. So I definitely think there's some moves Portland are going to make in the offseason. I don't know if they're going to continue to bottom out. Like they've shown signs this season. They had that like 12-game win streak, but I still think there's some room for improvement for the Blazers. So maybe they move on from Matisse. Maybe they trade him on like draft night and get some like late picks or something. But yeah, he's been very underrated lately. He's been someone that I've been tuning into to watch when he plays, and I try and find his highlights online and stuff. But yeah, I definitely think Matisse could be on a contending team next year. Could be shopped around a little bit. Wouldn't be surprised to see him like I don't know where he would end up. I don't know where he would fit. Like, who really needs a couple of like defensive pieces? Yeah, I'm not too sure, but maybe I can think about that. But yeah, definitely underrated player. So now we're going to move on to another guy that I don't think maybe he is a little bit underrated still, but he's going to get paid this offseason. And I think in the last podcast, I said that this guy's probably going to be earning maybe $22.5 to $23 million a season over 4 years if Chicago want to dish out that. But the way he's been playing lately, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he is going to be paid big money. Now, he is playing really well this year, averaging almost 30 minutes a game, 14 points, 7.4 rebounds, 6 assists, almost 1 steal, almost 1 block. And his shooting splits, that he's not going to be that 3-point scorer. That's why you have Kobe White and guys like that around him. But yeah, I think he's definitely stood up really well since being traded. This is one of those trades. This is one of those unique scenarios where I feel like both teams won the trade. The Bulls got a young piece that they can build around and they can turn into their star franchise guy. And OKC got a defender and a guy that they can really rely on come finals time, who's not a massive scorer, but they don't need that. They have Shea, they have Jalen Williams, they have Chet, they have Wiggins, they have Joe, they have Caruso, not Caruso, Wallace. They have all these other guys that they can just throw in there and get you, 10 to 15 points per night. But Caruso is just a defender. So I don't think Josh Giddey would have had a spot on the Thunder this year, especially the way they're going. They drafted Topic and some other guys as young point guards moving forward. So it definitely was a good trade, a very good trade. So if we just have a look at his games recently, so he's also had a couple of rough games in there, but he had that spell for a little while where he was going like 26 points per night, like triple double, 29 10 4, 22 7 7, triple double, 26 7 9, triple double. And then I'm pretty sure he triple doubled the other night too, but he played against Dallas. And like I said about Dyson, Dallas is so weird right now that I don't think point guards are having a good time. That kind of is silly to make. That's kind of a silly comment to make because we don't have much of a point guard. Because don't worry, I'm moving on. But yeah, he's had a pretty good defensive run too. Like he's averaging a couple blocks, averaging a steal. Like he's averaging plenty of steals. Like he's putting in on the defensive side. Against the Lakers, he had 8 steals in a triple double, and that's nuts. That's a nuts stat line. So I'm thinking Josh Giddey, I'm thinking he gets 27 to 29 mil a season now. Maybe 3, maybe 4 years, but he's going to get paid big money. Big money. I know that he's only been in the NBA for 4 years, but like he's a former top 10 pick and he's really putting in the work. I definitely think he's going to get a big bag in the offseason, but I've been wrong before. I've been wrong plenty of times. So I guess we'll find out what happens in this game against Portland. I can see him having a really good game, but we'll see. Hopefully he finishes the season strong. Chicago are in the playoff race too. They're in the play-in competition, I think, with Atlanta. They might even face off, and Josh Giddey versus Dyson Daniels sounds very entertaining. So yeah, pretty cool stuff by Josh Giddey. So we're going to move on to Tyrese Proctor now. And we're going to talk about the draft a little bit. And yeah, there's all these ads and stuff, but I got to get rid of them. So Tyrese Proctor is a guy that I think is going to go top... I'm going to say top 18. Maybe he might even go as high as maybe 13, 14. Now, he's the probably top Australian candidate this year. He's playing in Duke at the moment. 198 centimeters tall. He's 83 kilos, so he's very good size. He's from Sydney, so there's the Aussie. There's the Aussie in him. But yeah, he's averaging 12.5 points per game, 3.1 rebounds, 2.1 assists. He's playing pretty well at the moment. There's the stats up here, but there's more in-depth stats here. So, yeah, his next game's against Houston, so it could be a massive game for him. I'm pretty sure they're almost about to win the finals, which would be cool. And he's on a star-studded lineup of Isaiah Evans. He's got Knoppel here, and he's got obviously Cooper Flag there as well. But he had 17 points the other night. He had 2 steals. He did have 2 turnovers, but I feel like as a young guard, you kind of go through those teething processes. But he had a 40% from 3 game. Played 36 minutes. But he's had a bit of an up and down year. Obviously, he had a bad night here against Arizona. But I feel like he has put in the work and he's climbed up draft boards a lot this year. And especially being an Aussie playing in Duke, all you can do is kind of hope and pray that you get some attention, because this roster that he's on is absolutely stacked. So obviously Isaiah Evans is probably going to go I'm going to say top 30 as well. Cooper Flag, number 1 overall. I'm going to say Caleb Foster is going to be up there for sure. Knoppel and Malak are both going to be, I'm gonna say top 12 picks. So Proctor, I'm feeling like he's probably in the teens. Maybe latest he'll go is probably 18 or 19. But yeah, he's definitely showed what he's worth this year. And a guy like Matt at 6 Rings of Steel has been talking about Proctor really highly. And he's taken him a few times in some of the rebuilds that he does on his channel. And he's a really good draft guy. If you guys want to know more about the NBA draft or some of the prospects coming up, I definitely check him out. He's definitely worth looking at. But yeah, I mean, over his career, the last few years, he's definitely, improved a lot as he's gotten older, as he's got some more consistent minutes. That 3-point shot is definitely hitting this year. But his free throw percentage has dropped a little bit, but that's fine. I feel like he's getting to the basket and scoring a little bit more with field goals instead. But yeah, I reckon he's going to be one of the highest considerations for Australia this year. And who knows, we might see him on the Boomers in a couple years' time if he plays well, because that's going to be an awesome young core. If you have Dyson Daniels and Josh Giddey and Tyrese Proctor kind of leading the way, once Patty Mills, once Joe, once Dellavedova, once all those guys kind of call it quits, I'm very interested. I'm very interested to see how things go. So the last guy I want to talk about in today's podcast is Rocco Zikarsky, a guy I mentioned on the last pod. I can't really find too many stats about him online, but he's a 220 centimeter giant, and he's 103 kilos. He plays the center position, and these are some of his numbers against for the NBL. And the first game is a bit cut off there, but the first game he played only 13 minutes and I got 7 points and 1 block, 2 rebounds. That was his highest return for the season in the NBL, the National Basketball League here in Australia. But he didn't get much time at all. He really doesn't get much time. I feel like he's going to be just a good rebounder. He's only 18 years of age at the moment, and I'm thinking he's going to be drafted this year. I'm going to say, depending on if a team is desperate enough to want a big, I'm thinking he's going to go potentially maybe in the 30s to 40s range, because you've got guys like Derek Queen, you got guys like Kadeem Malak. There's a lot of big centers on the market that people are gonna, or teams are gonna try and target before Rocco. I feel like Rocco's a little bit raw. He's gonna be a bit more of a project player, and he's definitely gonna be one of those guys that you need to develop over time. I don't know if he's gonna be ever good enough to be a starting center, but he's definitely gonna make a way as maybe a role player, center off the bench, a center that once every couple games can give you 25 minutes as a starting center, but only like if your starting center is actually out of the team, if that makes sense. Like, he can play a good backup big man role. His rebounding is pretty good. Like, he's pretty consistent numbers. These first 2 games, he only had like single digit minutes, but in the games that he had like a bit more minutes, he definitely improved. Now, I feel like he is definitely going to be drafted this year. Wouldn't be surprised if he potentially goes back to the NBL, or maybe tries to do something like different on the path. But I feel like he's done well enough to maybe build some interest with some of the other teams. And yeah, I feel like he's probably the guy. Tyrese Proctor and Rocco are going to be the 2 that I'd say are going to be up there in the draft this year. So yeah, a bit of a mixed bag in today's podcast, but I just want to talk about the most improved race, how a couple of the Aussies are going lately, and just 2 guys that I think are definitely going to get drafted. Like always, if there's any other names you guys want me to talk about, definitely let me know down below. I'm always looking for new things to cover on this channel. We just started the rebuilds for the teams that have been eliminated this year so far, so I'm going to keep looking at posting those on Tuesdays. Fridays are going to be kind of the fantasy rebuild ideas, and then Saturdays are going to be or every fortnight on a Saturday is going to be the Aussies on the Ball pod, which I'm having a lot of fun kind of researching and talking about. If you guys want more basketball stuff, I'm uploading shorts on this channel as well. And I'm also uploading shorts over on my TikTok. I'm very active on Twitter, talking absolute shit about everything. So if you want to check that out too, I definitely recommend checking that out. But thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like on the pod if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.